Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Storm coming at you guys today again with another late video. Going to be talking about the aftermath of that Lions at Chicago Bears game. Sorry, it's another late video, guys. Sorry, but I've been feeling a little bit under the weather the last few days. Hence why I got my little cuppy cup. Little old school cut, man. Got Brandon Pettigrew on there, a little bit of Sue, Staff, Stephen Tulloch. Wow, you know. And then you got Calvin on there. So I'm gonna be drinking a little bit of water here and there. Get this video on its way. You know how my aftermath videos goes, guys. I had to talk about the game, a couple, some numbers, little points that I pick out during the game, just like I said, man, me and you sitting at a bar discussing what happened. But let's go over the numbers right now, guys. The Lions did visit the Chicago Bears, and the Lions are now 5-7. Chicago Bears are 5-7. The Lions are fourth. Chicago is in third. Lions won that game 34-30, and typical Lions fashion, you know what I mean? Darren Bevell got his first win as an interim head coach. Stafford gave him the game ball, all that stuff, man. Good gestures all around. Bevell was excited. The team looked refreshed. They played good. They played bad. I mean, it wasn't like it was. It wasn't like a different feel or anything like that. It looked like, to me, it looked like the same old Lions team. It really did. It looked like the same old Lions team. Play up, play down. Come back late, stay in it, fight, get beat up, take your swings. It's just the same kind of stuff, man. It's the same kind of stuff, but I am happy for Bevell. He deserves it, man. Patricia never beat the Bears. Bevell's first crack at it, they win. Apparently, Patricia never even got a hold of Bevell to congratulate him. I'm hearing, who knows? That's the last I kind of heard of it, which I think is kind of weak on Patricia's part. But we come to realize what type of guy Patricia is, and it's not looking good. But it is what it is. But we'll go over the numbers right now, guys, and we'll just talk about the game. Matt Stafford went 27 for 42 for a whopping 402 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, which was a bad pick. And he got sacked twice. He completed his passes at a 64% clip, which was really nice. It's a good, solid game for Stafford. Excellent 402 yards. Torched a really good defense. The Bears are a bad football team, but they have a really good defense. They do have a good defense, but they've struggled as of late. I think that was their 6th loss in a row. So the Bears are reeling. Go to Mitchell Trubisky for the Chicago Bears. He went 26 for 34, completed passes at 76%. It's not like he got a bad game or anything like that. 267 yards, only 1 touchdown, so he didn't torch the Lions like he normally does, throw a bunch of touchdowns. But he did throw for 1. 0 interceptions, and he took 2 sacks as well. Trubisky was good. Trubisky was good until the last bit of the game. We all saw what happened there. Why you're passing, anyways, is it was a 3rd down play. I do get it that we kind of want to get those first downs, but we all know Romeo made a great play. But the Bears just out-beared the Lions, or you can just what I mean. This is just 2 bad football teams, man. Nagy's got some work to do over there. But Trubisky played well in itself. He did. He really did. He wasn't bad. 76%. You can't ask for anything better. That's elite right there. He's not an elite quarterback, but that's an elite percentage to be thrown at a 76% passing completion percentage. That's phenomenal. You know what I mean? He just didn't get in the end zone much, just once. But on the running backs, our guys, Peterson had another good day. He went 16 carries for 57 yards at 2 touchdowns again. It's 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks. At a 3.6 yards per carry, with a 15 long. Kerryon Johnson had 3 carries for 3 yards. On a 2 YPC, only a 2 long. Stafford with 2 carries for no yards. Didn't do much. Didn't do much. He might have had a yard or something like that, but Agnew had a carry for no yards. 60 yards on the ground for for the Lions, guys. It's not like these guys dominated on the ground or anything like that, but Peterson's taking over, getting those short yardage touchdowns, which you love to see. And yeah, he's taking over for Swift right now. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. He's getting those short yardage touchdowns. He's a force inside the 10-yard line. So he's just doing his thing. But they're not rushing for a lot of yards. 60 yards on the ground, terrible. You know what I mean? It's just not good. You know what I mean? That's why we're throwing the ball all day. Stafford dropping back 42 times is you don't like to see that, man. You don't like to see your quarterback dropping back that many times. That's too many times. 40 plus. My God, you know what I mean? Like, dangerous. Now on to their running backs, guys. David Montgomery went 17 carries for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns, 4.2 yards per carry with 13 long. He had another good day. He's a really underrated running back, I think, in the NFL. He's just in a really bad offense. Cordell Patterson, their utility guy / wide receiver / just does it all, man. Kick return. Went 10 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown at a 5.9 YPC with a 13 long. Got end zone once too. Like I said, Trubisky had 3 carries for 6 yards at 2 YPC, 3 long. Anthony Miller had a carry for 3 yards as well. They rushed for 140 yards on the ground. They did their thing through the ground. So you can't really fault the ground game. So they did do some work in the ground game. Gash the Lions for 140 plus. So you know what I mean. The running backs in Chicago, like I said, David Montgomery, I think, is really an underrated running back in the NFL. And he had a good game. So he got in the end zone twice. So let's see that for Chicago. Now on to the receiving. Marvin Jones Jr. had a great game for Detroit, guys. Eight catches for 116 yards and a touchdown on 12 targets. He got heavily involved, which you want to see, and I was hoping he would get heavily involved, and you kind of knew he would, right? He's kind of the number one by default right now, so you got to get him involved, and he had a really big day. Hawkinson, another great day for Hawkinson. 7 catches, 84 yards on 9 targets. Quintus Cephas had 2 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown on one. The one touchdown was a beautiful 49-yard strike from Stafford. Cephas got away with a little bit of a push, but it was very, 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 it was subtle, but you could see it. Good play by Cephas, man. He just kind of extended his elbow just a tad. It could have been called, though. He got away with it, and it was a beautiful throw, beautiful catch, touchdown. Danny Amendola, welcome back. Three catches for 62 yards. We're missing him in the offense too. It's nice to see him back. He had some big. He had only 3 catches, but two or three of those were for third downs. I think I'm pretty sure that they were big third down plays. So it's good to see him back in the mix on 5 targets. Mohamed Sanu had 2 catches for 36 yards, no touchdowns on 2 targets. Jamal Agnew had 2 catches for 24 yards, no touchdowns on 2 targets. Jesse James had 1 catch for 9 yards and a touchdown, nice touchdown on 3 targets. And then Kerryon Johnson had two catches for 8 yards, no touchdowns and 3 targets as well. Like I said, guys, Marvin Jones getting a big day out of him was really solid. Big touchdown. I think it's a 25-yarder from Stafford on a really nice play. That I think that touchdown put them within. That touchdown put them within. Yeah, like 3 points at the time. 3 points at the time. But we'll talk about that in a bit. On to the Chicago Bears. Allen Robinson had an okay day. 6 catches for 75 yards, no touchdowns and 7 targets. Anthony Miller had 5 catches for 56 yards, no touchdowns and 5 targets. Darnell Mooney, the rookie, had 4 catches for 43 yards, no targets on 6 targets. 0 touchdowns on 6 targets. David Montgomery had 4 catches on 39 yards, 4 targets. Cole Kmet, the rookie out of Notre Dame, the tight end, A big boy, had 5 catches for 37 yards and a touchdown on 7 targets, so getting him more involved in Chicago, by the way. Um, then Javon Wims had a catch for 13 yards on 1 target, and then Cordell Patterson had a catch for 4 yards on 2 targets. So not really too much going on in Chicago Bears receiving core with all their guys, running backs / wide receivers, tight ends. Um, they kind of held them in check pretty good, the Detroit secondary, or the Detroit defense in itself. So they played okay there. Onto the defense. Jamie Collins racked up a bunch of tackles, 9 tackles, tackle for loss. The defense itself only had 2 quarterback hits, though, and we'll talk about that too. J-Ron Curse, the safety, had 8 tackles and a pass deflect. He was all over the field. Amani Aruwariye had 5 tackles. He was energized too, man. He was getting in people's faces. He was really excited this game. He was getting all up in people's faces. Justin Coleman, 5 tackles, tackle for loss on a real nice play there. Jelani Tavai, who's kind of stepped up his game in the last couple of weeks, man. I know I've been riding that guy all year. He's been bad, man. You know, he's still not a good linebacker, but he's totaling up some tackles this last couple of weeks. It's good to see that, man, because we need that guy to step up. I don't know what they're going to do with him next year. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with him. I'm kind of thinking he's getting cut because I don't think he can cut it. So that's going to be a wait-and-see approach for me. Now, Romeo Okwara, man, stud. 4 tackles, had a sack. You all know about the big sack with about 2 minutes to go, maybe just a little bit over 2 minutes to go. And strip sack on Mitchell Trubisky, which was humongous. So he had the 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. Romeo Okwara is going to be a free agent, by the way, and what are they going to do with him? They can't let him walk out the door. He's got 7 sacks on the years, guys. 7 sacks. He's probably going to end up with 8, 9, 10 sacks. Who knows? You know what I mean? There's still 5 games to go. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. 5 games or 4 games? 4 games maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Green Bay, Tennessee, Tampa, then I think Minnesota. I think 4. So you could end up with 10 sacks. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to pay that guy. Can't let a guy like that walk out the door. He's not going to, I don't think he's going to demand top dollar, but he's going to demand a big pay raise because he ain't getting paid nothing right now. He's getting paid squat, diddly, and he's going to get a big raise. So Darryl Roberts, 4 tackles. Tracy Walker had 4 tackles as well. Reggie Ragland, 4 tackles, tackle for loss on a big hit. Ron Harmon had 3 tackles. Jared Davis had 3 tackles. Nick Williams had 3 tackles. And Peterson had 3 tackles and a big fumble recovery that from the strip sack that Romeo Okwara had. It was nice, man. It's good to see that guy getting plays and making plays, man. I'm so happy for that kid, man. That was a great pick, man, by Quinn. For all things, like I said, you can talk all kinds of junk about Quinn. He did have some good draft picks. Peterson is one of them. He's going to be one of them. Mike Ford had 2 tackles. Everson Griffin, another guy that was energized. That guy was jumping all over the field. He was getting fired up. He had 2 tackles, a sack, tackle for loss, and a quarterback hit. The sack, he had a big sack, I think, late in the game. He got in people's faces after the sack. He was yelling at the sideline, at Detroit Lions sideline when he was running off the field, man, getting these guys up. And then they came back in a surge, the Lions, and won that game. I'm not saying it was Everson Griffin, but that kid brings energy, man. Big energy, man, from Everson Griffin. Will Harris had 2 tackles. Kevin Strong had 2 tackles, and he had the big 4th down tackle late in the game with under 2 minutes to go. It was 4th and 1, and Kevin Strong busted in there and shut down David Montgomery on a big play. And Lions victory, boom, there you go. It's good to see that too, because that kid was on the practice squad, man, all year, pretty much, all year. I don't know how many games he's been in this year. I know at least 2, I want to say. I could be wrong, could be more, could be less. But it's good to see that, man. It's good to see that from him. Because he's not really a great playmaker, but that's great that he made a big play. Biggest play of his NFL career, I'd say, right now. So then Christian Jones had a tackle, and Killebrew, Mabin, Matt Nelson. You all know who Matt Nelson is, man. He shut down Khalil Mack. He had to come in at right tackle. I'm going off the rails right now again, but who cares? Matt Nelson came in when Tyrell Crosby went down with an injury and shut down Khalil Mack. Like, that's a tough assignment, man. Khalil Mack hasn't been the best all year. He's kind of had a down year, but that's one of the premier pass rushers in the league. Matt Nelson is a converted defensive end, by the way. Okay? Now he's playing right tackle for the Detroit Lions. So he had a tackle. So, and then Bobby Price, the safety, had a tackle as well, probably in special teams. The Bears, Roquan Smith, their star linebacker, who I like a lot, had 9 tackles, a quarterback hit. They had 3 total quarterback hits on Stafford too. So they kept Stafford pretty clean, that O-line, man. The O-line played well again, man, against that Chicago line. So, and Akeem Hicks was back. Kyle Fuller had 6 tackles. Buster Skrine had 6 tackles. DeAndre Houston Carson had 5 tackles. Danny Trevathan had 5 tackles as well. The other linebacker I like. The rookie Jalen Johnson out of Utah, Penasini's teammate during college, had 4 tackles and a pass deflect. Bilal Nichols had a monster game for the Bears, man. He had four tackles, a sack, tackle for loss, 1 pass deflect, quarterback hit, and an interception on a bad Stafford throw. Stafford was trying to get cute with his little sidearm. I don't think he must have not even seen the big fella there. He threw it right in his arms. I think he's trying to get the ball to Jesse James, and he threw it right into the big man's arms. But he had a monster game for defensive tackle. Tayshaun Gibson Sr. had 3 tackles and a pass deflect. Brent Urban had 3 tackles. Barkevius Mingo had 2 tackles, a sack, quarterback hit. J.P. Holtz had 2 tackles. Eddie Jackson, their stud safety, had 2 tackles and a pass deflection. John Jenkins had 3 tackles. Joel Ayig-Bunaway had 2 tackles. Akeem Hicks, like I talked about earlier, had 2 tackles. Robert Quinn had 1 tackle. Mary Edwards Jr. had a tackle and a pass deflect. Ryan Nall had a tackle. Dion Bush had 1 tackle, 1 pass deflect as well. Okay, so that's what happened, guys. And we'll go to the scores, guys. We'll go to the scores. The first quarter, the Bears got on the board right away. Kicked a 45-yard field goal, made it 3-0. Then a touchdown by David Montgomery, 13-yard run, made it 9-0. Then Adrian Peterson got in the end zone for the final score of the first quarter on a 3-yard run. Made it 6-9 Bears going into the second quarter. Then it was touchdown Cordell Patterson. Made it 6-16 Chicago. And then that's when Quintez Cephas had that 49-yard strike from Stafford. Beautiful thrown ball, beautiful route. Got a little separation, got away with a little push, but that's okay. Made it 13-16 Chicago. Then Montgomery got in the end zone again on a 4-yard plunge. Made it 13-23 Chicago. And then we on to the third quarter. Touchdown, Jesse James. Got a 9-yard pass. Made it 20-23. Defense started stepping up a little bit, guys, for the Lions. Just a tad. Then we got on to the fourth quarter. Third quarter was pretty clean. Just 1 score from the Lions. Then fourth quarter came. Cole Kmet got in the end zone on an 11-yard pass. He made it 20-30 for Chicago. And now you're thinking, okay, man, this game's done. Chicago's going to wrap it up. They're going to shut us down. But no, not according to Matthew Stafford, man. So then they go on to score a 25-yard pass to Marvin Jones, makes it 27-30. Bears get the ball late with 2 minutes and change. Lions get him to a 3rd down. Like I said, Lions get him to a 3rd down. He goes back to pass. Trubisky goes back to pass. Romeo Okwara with a nice pressure come out, kind of side swiped his arm with his hand. Strip sack. Penasini jumps on it. Lions get the ball back with 2 minutes, roughly around 2 minutes, maybe a little bit under. And then Adrian Peterson ends up running a 5-yard run, literally runs over a linebacker to get into the end zone to make it 34-30. Lions win, and that's when Kevin Strong came in that defensive tackle role and made that big 4th down stop. Now, some noted quotes that I liked, that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. Reggie Raylan had a pretty convincing, telling quote. He goes, I guess since Coach Patricia got fired, Bevel said, just let loose and have fun. You keep being yourself. Again, I've talked about this before, man. This is is not a shot at Patricia, but it's a shot at his coaching style. He was too robotic. He was too businesslike. He wasn't letting these guys have fun. Now, I'm not saying the Lions are going to go on a run because they got a brutal 3-game stretch. And then they even play the Vikings last game of the year. The Vikings aren't going to be easy. Vikings are still fighting too. So are the Bears. You know what I mean? So, but that's a telling quote, man, from a pretty good linebacker. You know what I mean? He's only a 2-down linebacker, but he's a player on the team. And then Stafford saying guys were having a blast out there. Just making these little subtle comments that nobody really talks about. Patricia was a train wreck here. He was a train wreck here, man. He didn't let his guys have fun. It's so obvious with these quotes, man. It's so obvious. They're literally saying it. Have fun. Be yourself. Be free. You know, you can just even like I said earlier in the video, guys. Yes, it was a typical SOL kind of win. You know what I mean? Back and forth, beat up, get beat up, score, this, that. Lions drive down the field and score. Defense makes a play finally. When's the last time that defense made a play, though, man? You know what I mean? When's the last time that defense made a play? Since Atlanta? The Atlanta game? Jacksonville game? I can't even remember. They just don't make plays, man. And they did. They finally made a play. And look what happens when the defense makes a play. Look what happens when the defense makes a play. It doesn't all have to be on number 9 in the offense. It doesn't all have to be that. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. This is a good thing that stuff like this happens, man. You get a defense, man, you can win with Matt Stafford. And I know it's time. I know it's almost time. The time is up. I expect Stafford to probably be around maybe 1, maybe 2 more years, but 1 for sure. They're not getting rid of him. I don't think they're gonna. I can still see him drafting a quarterback, but whatever. I'm off the rails again. So I'm off the rails again. But with the quotes, hey, it speaks for itself. If you want to go look at those quotes, go Google some of them, guys. They speak volumes on how Patricia was a coach here. Volumes. It was an absolute train wreck with Patricia here. Bevel, hey, I don't want him as our head coach. I really don't. If he wins the next 4 games, he's got to be considered. But you have to do your due diligence, man, and look hard for first a GM. I think you got to get a GM first. There's been teams that have done it where they can go get a coach first. Cleveland Browns did it. San Francisco 49ers did it when they went out and they hired Shanahan first, Kyle Shanahan first. Then they went and got John Lynch. Okay, the Browns have done it too with Stefanski. They've done it. Teams have done it. It can be done, but it's not common. It's not common. Your guy really has to be on board. So you got to interview a guy and go, well, hey, this is our head coach. Whether you like it or not. And so there could be guys that could be turned off to that, right? So, but I really like the way the Lions did play, you know. But in all, it was a typical win by the Lions, giving Lions fans heart attacks at the end of the game. It's just the same kind of thing, getting beat up, like I said, and coming back, beat up, coming back, and then winning, you know, last minute. It's just like, it's an SOL type win. It's an SOL type win, but we're still in the hunt, man. Still in the hunt. Now, on to the Packers. Packers come to Ford Field this Sunday. We got a couple guys banged up. Tyrell Crosby, let's see where he's at. He's got an ankle problem. Mike Ford hurt his back. That guy's been banged up all year. And CJ Moore hurt himself. He hurt his ankle. So let's see where those guys are at right now. But all in all, they kind of came unscathed. Wasn't too bad. So I like that, right? But to talk about the game, guys, talk about games, you know, I've been talking about it the whole time. Stafford showed up, balled out. Stafford did his thing, completely balled out, threw over 400 yards. I think he's tied now with Brady for 400 games. I think 10th. That's his 10th one. I want to say, don't quote me on that, but I think he's tied with Brady. You know, and the offense isn't the problem. The offense isn't the problem. Imagine if they had Golladay and Swift. This team, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But I'm just happy Stafford played really well, man. He needed that game. It was really good. And then Adrian Peterson, the old man showing up. He's not getting a bunch of yards, but he's getting in the end zone, and that matters. Um, what else? Marvin Jones. Good job, brother. Good job, man. Big game. Eight catches for 116 and a touchdown. Getting involved. And Hawkinson's turning into a stud. I can't believe some Lions fans bash this guy. This kid is turning into one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He's probably the best tight end in the NFC. He's the best tight end in the NFC, but people just bash him. I don't get it. Oh, he can't break tackles. He's not a playmaker. Well, man, he's accumulating a bunch of catches and a bunch of yards. One guy even said that Matt Stafford ignores everybody else and throws the ball to Hawkinson. It's just unreal, the stuff that spews out of Lions fans' mouths. It's nuts. It really is. Put some respect on Hawkinson's name. Kid's a baller. He's a stud. Okay? No, he's not George Kittle. No, he's not Travis Kelce. Okay? But he's a top 5 tight end this year. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. Go look it up because his numbers are balling, man. His numbers are huge. He's having a big year. He's having a really good year. And I'm glad Cephas got in the end zone. Glad to see Danny Amendola back. Sanu looking good. You know what I mean? With the defense, Jamie Collins doing his thing, man. Wrapping up a bunch of tackles. It's always good to see. I still like to see a little more playmaking from him, but at least he's doing that. Who else? Man? Who else? Romeo Okwara was awesome. You're gonna be showing that brother the money, man. You're gonna be showing him the money, man, soon. Who else, guys? Who else? Everson Griffin, another sack racked up. Another sack for the old man. Love it. They better think twice maybe about re-signing him too. But I don't know where they're going to come up with all this money. They don't have a lot of cash, and they got a lot of free agents that they have to think about. So, but all in all, guys, great game. We went over kind of everything. It was really good for Bevel. Stafford gave him the game ball, like I said. Got his first win as a Detroit Lions coach in his first game. So that's impressive. Patricia never beat the Bears. Bevel does it in his first game. Like that Patricia tenure was just awful. It was just awful. Now he's in tough for the next 4 games because Minnesota's not going to be easy either. You know, Minnesota's up and down, but they're not going to be easy. You're playing the Packers, best team in the NFC North. Probably one of the best teams in the NFC, one of the best teams in the NFL, I think. And then you got Tampa Bay coming up, or Tennessee next or something. It's one of those teams. Tennessee, who's stopping Derrick Henry? Who's stopping A.J. Brown? And you got Tampa Bay. That game's been flexed to a night game. So, Bevel's in deep. Bevel's in real deep. And this is where he's got to show if he can be the next head coach. What's going to happen, bro? What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So they're in tough, man. They got to handle the Packers. Packers are coming in, and they're a good football team, one of the best, like I said. So let's see what you do. It's a home game. Lions usually play them pretty tough at home. So this should be interesting. I think the Packers are favored right now by a touchdown. So no respect for the Lions, and they don't really deserve it. So should be interesting. But, you know, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on the bottom right. Like and comment, negative, positive. You know what I'm saying? I take the positive, I take the negative, and I try to come back with you guys as much as I can, and I'm pretty good at that. So don't forget to hit that notification bell, get all my vids, and let's go Lions, man. Go Lions, ba boom.